Welcome back to another episode of With a Grain of Salt. I am your host, Isaiah Salter, and I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in for yet another week. Last episode of 2024. What a bittersweet moment. I just want to start off by sharing and expressing my appreciation and gratitude for each and every one of you. You know, we started this podcast at the beginning of this year, and the journey has been nothing short of amazing and incredibly rewarding. And, you know, I really feel like we've cultivated a space here where we are all, you know, playing a role in collectively wanting to be better, wanting to grow, and, you know, really moving the needle in the right direction as far as, you know, the types of things that we want to see in society, the things that we want to see in the world and individually. So I have nothing but, you know, gratitude and appreciation for each and every one of y'all. And I'm super excited to see what this next year brings, which brings us to the topic of this episode, which is some keys, some things to bring in to 2025 with, some things to, you know, be intentional with, some things to bring awareness to. I'm not specific on the title yet, so that's why, you know, I say some things and intentions, but we'll figure that out when it's time to post it. But yeah, we're going to go down a list of some things that I have that I think we need to be mindful of and aware of moving into 2025 and, you know, really navigating the new year. The first thing I really want to start with is really prioritize being present this year. Really prioritize being present this year. I think so often, you know, we can fall susceptible to, you know, wanting to set goals, wanting to, you know, achieve certain things, which is important and it's great. But a lot of times we can fall into the trap of getting so caught up in the bigger picture, in the bigger goals, that we miss out on the moments leading up to it. We miss out on what we have right in front of us, the present moment. You know, and at the end of the day, I've said this before, all that we have is the present moment. You know, so often we can get so caught up in looking down the road that we just continuously miss out on the beauty of what we have right in front of us, right? And a lot of times, when you aren't rooted in gratitude, a lack of gratitude is what can take you out of the present moment. A lack of gratitude is what can take you out of the present moment. Because when you're grateful for the journey and you understand that each and every moment is leading to get you to where you want to be, it allows you to be present. Even through the times of difficulty and challenge and adversity, I'm going to be present and really make the most out of where I am, because I know where I am is a stepping stone to getting me to where I want to be. Where I am is a stepping stone to getting me to where I want to be. And I need to embrace it with the right perspective, with an attitude of gratitude, and with the right intentions. And that's a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful, beautiful thing. It says, let go of regrets and worries. Release attachment to the past and anxiety about the future to fully experience what is happening now. Being too attached to the past or too worried about the future can completely take you out of the present moment. It can completely bring in so much stress and anxiety and remove those feelings of gratitude and, you know, stillness, truly, you know. And I think this is the importance of living your life with a certain level of intention and awareness, because like we always say, you're a human being, so there is going to be times where you're not being present. But if you lack awareness, if you lack intentional living, then when you're not present, you're not going to have the tools or ability to catch yourself and bring yourself back to the present moment, right? Because falling off track, you know, falling out of the present in the moment, that is natural. But staying there, staying in the future or staying in the past, we don't need to do that. We do not need to do that. And when you stay there longer than necessary, that is when stress, anxiety, regret, worry, and all those low vibrational emotions come in, and they just keep us stuck. They keep us down. And it creates this very, very tough loop that a lot of us can get stuck in. I know, me included. I've experienced that, especially with overthinking, you know, trying so hard to control the outcomes and results in my life that you start to overthink everything, you know. And whenever I catch myself overthinking, I know immediately I am not in the present, because overthinking is a direct result of not being present, right? And this is the importance of knowing yourself, understanding, you know, what's going on, you know, in your life and inside of yourself, because it's important to be aware of the things that happen that allow you to see when you're not in the present, or you're not in an attitude of gratitude, or maybe you're not as aligned, right? That's why awareness is so important, right? And so this all ties into living in the present. In 2025, really, really, really focus on bringing awareness and intention into everything that you do. Notice I did not say make sure you're doing everything right. I did not say make sure you're being perfect in all areas. I said make sure you're bringing intention and awareness into everything that you do. And if you really focus on that every single day, I promise you it's going to allow you to gracefully move in the right direction day after day, moment after moment, even through the mistakes, even through the mess ups, even through the times where you're overthinking or you're a little bit more anxious, through the times where you're not as present, right? Through the times where you don't feel still. It's going to allow you to gracefully continue to move in that right direction. Intention and awareness. Intention and awareness, right? And before we move on, I also want to touch on, this all goes into, living in the present. Understand, right, and we've said this before, where your focus goes, energy follows. Where your focus goes, energy follows. So if you're always focused on the future, if you're always focusing on the past, that is what you're giving energy to. And what you give energy to in your life magnifies. What you give energy to in your life will magnify. So if you continuously focus on worrying about the future or regretting the past, right? Or trying to attach yourself to past experiences or past, relationships or circumstances, you are literally giving those things more and more power every time you do that, right? And this is why awareness is so important. It's important to become aware of where your energy is going, because that will tell you what you're giving power to in your life. So many people, right? They struggle so much because deep down, they don't want to keep worrying about the future or dwelling on the past. But without them even realizing it, because a lot of people lack awareness, they don't realize that they're literally continuing to give those things power by focusing so much energy on them. And that's why it's so important to find tools and different things that you can really bring into your life that can help keep you grounded, whether it's a walk, whether it's journaling when you're falling into the trap of overthinking or being a little anxious or dwelling on the past, whether it's finding one or two people like a mentor or somebody really close that you can have a healthy, authentic, and aligned conversation with to express, how you're feeling, whether it's going and working out, whether it's going and really prioritizing, I'm going to make a freshly cooked meal. Health is wealth, right? All these things, you got to figure out your social rhythm. You have to figure out the things that keep you grounded and help you stay aligned and help you when maybe you're going too far to the left or too far to the right, right? So moving into 2025, and we're not going to wait till, obviously you'll hear this episode. No, you'll hear this episode, I think the 30th. But when you hear this, don't wait until next year to start. Just start today. Start small, right? And that's the beautiful thing about this journey of growth. You don't have to start with big leaps. Actually, you never have to start with big leaps. It's actually the small, incremental steps that you take every single day that really lead to the big change that you're desiring to see in your life, right? And the beautiful thing about that is you can start today. You can absolutely take one step today. And maybe that one step is deciding to think about something that you haven't really given that much attention to. Maybe that one step today is literally just writing down one goal or one thing that you want to accomplish. Maybe that one step today is literally going outside and going for a walk. Whatever that step is for you today, just take it. And then after that, we take the next step and we do it one step at a time. And that's a beautiful way to gracefully move into the new year and navigate the new year as a whole. And before you know it, it's going to be 6 months. It's going to be 8 months. It's going to be 9 months from now. And you're going to be so proud of all the progress you're made. And you're going to look up and you're going to dang near be a whole different person, a whole newly renovated, aligned, and authentic individual. And that's a beautiful thing. And you just keep on moving forward. You keep on moving forward. Celebrate small moments. Find joy and meaning in everyday activities like a morning walk or a heartfelt conversation. That's beautiful. Really bring awareness and focus on celebrating the small moments in your day. Bring gratitude to the smallest of things. That hot sip of coffee you had in the morning, right? That really, really good conversation you had with a close friend or somebody at the grocery store or the market, whatever it is, right? That breath of fresh air you took when you went outside and the sun was out and the air was clear. All these things, bring gratitude to all these moments and celebrate the small wins in your day. Celebrate the times where you caught yourself being out of the present, and you brought intention and awareness to that and brought yourself back to the present. Celebrate those little wins. Even if you were only able to do it one time in a day, celebrate that, right? Because we all need that pat on the back, and a lot of times you need that pat on the back from yourself. A lot of times you need that pat on the back from yourself. So make sure you're celebrating those small wins, bringing gratitude to the littlest of things, and appreciating the small things in life, right? Because this beautiful life that we see is really just an accumulation of all the beautiful small things. So, Eckhart Tolle, an amazing teacher, says, realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. Make the now the primary focus of your life, right? If you want to have one resolution going into 2025, it's make the now, the present, the primary focus of your life, right? That is your goal. So anytime you find yourself not being in the moment, use the tools, use the things that you have in your tool bag to bring yourself back. And if you keep doing that, I promise, just off of that alone, you'll get to where you want to be. I can promise it. I promise if you really just focus on making the most out of the moment you have right now, in this moment, in the present, you will get to where you want to be. You will get to where you want to be. I guarantee it. And if you don't, a year from now, come back to this episode. DM me on Instagram or TikTok or wherever it is, or YouTube, comment. And I'm going to make sure we figure this out. But I promise you we ain't going to have to do that. Because if you do that, if you really focus your energy and attention and intention on the present, and you make the most out of the present, not about perfection, we're not going to do that, but you make the most out of this moment, you're going to get to where you need to be. I can guarantee it. I can guarantee it. You know why? Because where you need to be is the present moment. That's a bar. Write that down. Shout out to Nero. Another thing I really want you to be intentional with and bring awareness to in 2025 is cultivating stillness in your life. I think this is a very overlooked aspect of life. If you don't cultivate a practice of stillness in your life or time of stillness in your life, it's going to be incredibly difficult to navigate and find clarity through different seasons and different experiences that you're going through. Stillness is what allows you to become aware of your emotional state, of the thoughts that are running wild in your mind, right? Of maybe your perspective on a certain situation, maybe how you feel towards a certain person. That stillness is what gives you the time to hear, to listen, to gain clarity of what's going on in here and in here, your heart and in your mind. So really cultivate a practice of stillness in 2025. And this doesn't even need to be every day. Dedicate one day. Start small. If you've never really done this before, dedicate one day where you spend 5 to 10 minutes just sitting in stillness and becoming aware, right? Start there. Start small, right? Because we don't need to take big leaps like we said before. So if you feel like you've been living a life just on autopilot, running 1,000,000 miles per hour and never really having any type of stillness or calmness in your life, start with one day. And in that one day, take 5 minutes to just sit in stillness. Stillness is just so important. It really is. It's so important. Stillness is what gives you the ability to hear your intuition, to follow your heart. The only way to follow your heart is to be able to hear and lean into your intuition. You'll never be able to hear or lean into your intuition if you don't cultivate stillness in your life. If you're constantly running at 1,000,000 miles per hour, if you're constantly being overstimulated by all these external things like your phone, like people, like media, entertainment, all these things, right? You're never giving yourself the space to really get in tune. Stillness is you stopping the car, really figuring out what radio station you want to go to, and then turning the dial to that. But if you're driving on the highway at 80 miles per hour, you don't know what station you want to go to. You're trying to go to every different station. You're hearing all the hustle and bustle. You're just going to get tired and you'll be like, forget this. It's just going to be hard to concentrate, right? So give yourself stillness. This is beautiful. It says, listen to your inner voice. It says, learn to distinguish between the noise of the world and the whispers of your intuition. So often, without even realizing it, it's just our default. We allow the external world, the external voices of the people and things around us to guide us more than that inner voice. And that inner voice is your true compass to getting you to your most aligned, authentic self, right? But because we don't bring awareness or intention into our life, because we don't cultivate stillness, we allow all the things of the external to drive our vehicle, right? And then 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you look back and you're like, man, I'm somewhere I don't even want to be. Yeah, because you didn't intentionally, bring awareness and listen to your inner compass, your inner voice, your intuition, right? And like I said this, I think last episode, but your intuition is literally, view it as your higher self, right? The best possible version of yourself speaking to you about which way you need to go to become that person, to achieve the things on your heart, to really become all of who you were made to be, right? That is that inner compass, right? That is that inner compass. And a big reason why we usually listen to all the things of the external and never the true inner compass, the inner voice inside of us, is because it's easier, to keep it quite frank. It's easier. It's way more difficult to really cultivate stillness, to sit with those emotions, sit with those thoughts, clear some of that baggage out, and really listen to your intuition. It's not easy to do that. And we live in a society where delayed gratification is not a priority. We like fast food. We like fast things, right? We want instant gratification. We want instant results. So anything that is going to require us to cultivate patience, to really embrace the journey, embrace the small steps, anything that's going to, push us to take time with and intention with and slow down, it's going to be a lot more difficult to do that. But you have to really ask yourself, you need to look around and say, okay, do I want the life of the majority of people that I'm seeing on an everyday basis? Truly. And this is where you have to be real with yourself. Denzel Washington said in one of the commencement speeches I watched, he said, to get something you've never had, you have to be willing to do something you've never done. And that kind of sums it up. To get something you've never had, you have to be willing to do something you've never done. So if you are following what everybody around you and what society is telling you to do, if that's what you're following, you cannot expect to just get something different because you just think that's going to happen. No, if you want something different, you're going to have to do something different. And a great thing to be aware of is something I've always been conscious of is when I was growing up, especially when I kind of got to high school and to college, I started to really look at what everybody was doing. And I said, maybe I need to do the opposite. Maybe I need to do the opposite, because what a lot of people are getting, I don't really think that's what I want my life to be, right? So if you don't necessarily know what to do, start with knowing what not to do. If you don't necessarily know what to do, start with knowing what not to do, right? And a very, very quick way to figure out what not to do is to look at the people's lives that you don't want to live and say, okay, what are they doing? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that, right? I'm not going to do that. And I saw this video by Higher Up Wellness on TikTok. He's an amazing content creator. I love him. He said, a very good indicator of the advice you should listen to and the advice you should leave is, would you trade places with the person that's giving you advice? Honestly, would you trade places with this person's life that is giving you advice? And if not, sometimes you just got to leave it at the door. I'm not saying you can't learn from everybody, right? I'm not saying that, but really be mindful of the advice and knowledge you're getting from people, man. A lot of people will tell you things based off of their experiences. And if their experiences in their life isn't something that really resonates with you or you gravitate towards or you want to, see happen in your life, take it with a grain of salt. There we go. Take it with a grain of salt. Take what's for you, leave what isn't. Take it with a grain of salt. I think this is number 3. The third key might be called keys. It might be called resolutions. It might be called intentions. We don't know. We'll figure it out. The third thing I really want you to prioritize in 2025 is living authentically and aligned. I know we touched on this a little bit in the first two, but really we're going to give this section, some focus and energy, because I really want you to focus on living authentically and aligned. Your life will change when you really start to embrace who you are and stop trying to be somebody you're not. Your life will drastically change. So much peace, so much joy, so much love will come in. That's where you'll really learn how to love yourself. It's very hard to love yourself when you're not being true to yourself. It is very hard to love yourself when you are not being true to yourself. But when you really start to step into more of an aligned, authentic version of yourself, in a more aligned, authentic path for yourself, you're really going to start to cultivate a love of self down that journey. Because you're going to start figuring out things about yourself that you didn't even know were there because you were focused so much on being somebody that really isn't you. But when you start to unpack your unique gifts, your unique talents, your unique strengths, the potential you have within yourself, you best believe you're going to start to fall in love with yourself. And the more love you have for yourself, the more you're going to continue to move in a more aligned, authentic way. Right? The more you're going to make decisions that align with that love of self. Usually, people's decisions are a direct result of the love that they have for themselves. Truly. When you really, really love yourself and you value yourself and you respect yourself, you're going to take care of yourself. And that's going to come out in what you do, in your everyday habits, and what you put in your body, and how you move and how you speak and who you're around. All that stuff will be a direct correlation to the love, relationship, and respect that you have for yourself. So really focus on living authentically and aligned, right? And I know some people might say, well, how do I do that? Like, how do I live authentically? How do I live aligned? I need you to take a pen to a piece of paper, and I need you to write best version of myself. And under that, I want you to write the attributes, the daily habits, the perspectives, the emotions of that person. Really make this list. This is a tangible thing you can do to really help you stay, aligned, right? Really see that list, because that list in itself, right? And this is just one practice. There's other things we can get into, but this is really kind of the simplest way I think can really help a lot of y'all. Look at that list, and then you just look at your life and you compare that list to your life, and you do your best every single day, moment by moment, to slowly start to shift your everyday habits, your perspectives, your mindsets, the people you're around into that list, into the things that align with that list, right? It says check in with yourself. Regularly reflect on whether your actions align with your core values and desires. What are your core values? What are your true desires? Write it out. Write it out. Spend some time. And this goes back to the second point about cultivating stillness, right? That stillness, that space you give yourself is what gives you the time to write out things like that so you can see it. You don't need to do it every day, but you need to do it at some point. You need to do it at some point. Don't leave this stuff for chance. You cannot leave living authentically and aligned up for chance. That stuff doesn't just happen. You have to make it happen by taking actionable steps, conscious, intentional steps every single day. Are you going to make mistakes? Yes, you're not always going to live authentically and aligned. That is okay. But you have the guardrails of the list of the tangible thing you can look at, and you have the awareness that you've cultivated to help you stay on track. And you have communities like the With a Grain of Salt podcast, the WAGOS brand. You have communities like this that you can come to help you stay on the path of living aligned and authentically. Right? That's what you guys are for me too. You guys are a space, a tool, like an accountability partner for real. Like you guys, you have no idea how much this community helps me stay on track too. Helps me live authentically and aligned. Right? It's a mutual relationship. That's what we have here. So use the things that you have. Use communities like this. right? Use people you look up to. Use tangible things like writing down lists so you can look at it every day, right? Write on a sticky note and tape it on your wall. Whatever you have to do, right, to live authentically and aligned in 2025, because that is the direction we're moving. That is the direction we're moving in. If it ain't aligned, we ain't got the time. If it ain't aligned, we ain't got the time. All 2025. All 2025. It says, let go of people pleasing. One of the biggest things you're going to have to do if you want to live aligned and authentically is let go of always living for other people's approval. You have to let go of that. You have to focus on what really feels right for you, because when you start moving down that path of being aligned and being authentic, what feels right for you won't always be what's right for everybody else. But you have to have the courage and the ability to still choose what's right for you and not fall susceptible to trying to gain the approval of everybody else. All right? This goes back to awareness. If you want to know if you're living authentically and aligned or not, really have a audit on your life and see how many areas that you're living off of the approval of other people, because that will give you a direct sign that maybe that area I need to focus more on being more aligned and authentic to myself, because I see that I'm really leaning more towards other people's approval here. I'm searching for external validation in this area of my life. And authenticity doesn't need external validation. Authenticity lives off of internal fulfillment, internal alignment. You do not need external validation when you are living authentically. That stuff just happens organically because people appreciate that side of you. They appreciate the true version of yourself. Just focus on being you. Focus on being you. Brene Brown said, don't trade your authenticity for approval. That's a fact. So often we neglect our authentic self to be approved by a person, a group, or an environment. We're not doing that no more. Lean so much into your authenticity that it repels the people that aren't for you and it attracts the people that are for you. But we're not going to neglect our truth. We're not going to neglect our authentic self to gain the approval of these external things. We're done doing that. And if you've done that before, or you've been living your life like that, we're going to start by giving ourselves grace, forgiving ourselves for not knowing better. But now that you know better, choose better. It's very simple. Not easy, but it is very simple. And you can do it. Absolutely, you can do it. Absolutely, you can do it. Living authentically and aligned, it says say yes to what matters and say no to what don't. Come on. Say yes to what matters and say no to what don't. Be intentional about commitments, choosing only what resonates with your purpose, right? And your purpose, to keep it very simple, is to live authentically and aligned every single day. That is the core purpose of you, is to be truly yourself. So we're saying yes to things that align with that, and we're saying no to things that don't. And you can't be so caught up in other people's feelings that it makes you say yes to things that you genuinely don't want to do. And I'm speaking from experience. I've been there. Learning how to say no is one of the most difficult things to do, especially when you grow up a people pleaser. You grow up searching for the approval of others. But as you go down this journey of living authentically, of living aligned, of truly starting to value yourself and love yourself and respect yourself, you're going to learn that I need to learn how to say no to protect my energy. And if other people take that personal, right, and they want to be like, oh, you switched up, or that's on them. That's a reflection of them. That has nothing to do with you. You have to stay true to yourself. Stay true to yourself, right? Don't fall into the trap of always trying to make everybody feel good, because on this path of living authentically and living aligned, I promise you there's going to be times where you have to be willing to hurt some people, and not in a meanful way or a malice way. It's just a result of you staying true to yourself, because in a world where authenticity is not at the forefront, when you start to live authentically, you have to understand you're going to let some people down. You have to be willing to do that. You have to be willing to do that. Oscar Wilde says, be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Why do you think it feels like there's only limited spots at the table when you're chasing after this thing that isn't even you, right? Of course, it's going to feel limited when everybody's trying to be the same. But when you really start being yourself, you're going to understand that, oh, no, this life truly is abundant for the people that live authentically, for the people that are truly stepping into their uniqueness. That's when a seat for everybody becomes open, right? That's when there's a seat for everybody at the table. But if you're constantly competing and comparing and becoming jealous and envious of the next man or next woman, you're always going to feel like there's limited seats. You're always going to feel like you have to fight the next person. Why would you feel like you have to compete or fight with anybody when you understand you're a one of one? We're going to leave that there. We're going to leave that there. We're going to leave that there. I love this. Number four. I have a few. We're probably not going to do all of them. I don't want to overdo it. But number 4 says prioritize growth over comfort. In 2025, I need you to prioritize growth over ease and comfort. Right? So often our cling and our attachment to ease and comfort stunts our growth in ways that we cannot see or understand in the moment. But a year from now, 2 years from now, you realize how much you just allowed comfort and ease to consume your life. And you've gotten deeper and deeper into the hole. And it's harder to get out, right? It's harder to get out. So prioritize growth over comfort. And how do you know if you're growing? Usually growth isn't easy. Usually growth, pushes your limits. Usually growth brings discomfort. Usually growth, entices us to make harder decisions. Usually growth makes us have to really become disciplined, right? Usually growth makes us to have to really prioritize being intentional. Usually growth feels like we're really expanding as an individual. We're not staying stagnant. So push yourself out your comfort zone, even in minor ways. Really start to bring awareness, like we said. Bring awareness to the areas where you feel like you're leaning more to ease and more to comfort. And challenge yourself to, in the smallest of ways, to start taking steps outside of that zone, right? To start taking steps outside of that zone, right? Prime example, right? Something that I always try to challenge myself with is, okay, when I wake up, the easy and comfortable thing to do is check your phone, check your messages, check emails, check social media, right? In the smallest of ways, challenge yourself to, you know what? No, I'm going to put my phone to the side. I'm going to turn my alarm off, put my phone down, face down. And then I'm going to do my morning routine and get myself ready. And then I'll get to my phone, right? That's how you challenge the comfort and the ease. That's how you grow in minor ways, right? So bring that type of awareness into your life and see the smallest areas where you can really start to take steps out of your comfort zone. It says welcome discomfort. 2025, we're welcoming discomfort. Why? Because recognize that it's a sign of growth and transformation. When discomfort comes, we get excited. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy. We might need to lean on support, but we're going to get excited because we know with discomfort comes growth. With pain comes growth. With heartbreak comes growth. We're getting excited for growth all 2025. We're getting excited for it. Excited doesn't mean you won't still have frustrations. Excited doesn't mean you won't still be scared sometimes. Excited doesn't mean you won't still lack clarity in certain areas. Excited does not mean you won't still need support. It just means we can't wait to see how we grow through this experience or this season. And that's what we get excited for. And that's what we get excited for. It's going to be a beautiful thing. Another way to prioritize growth and step out of your comfort zone is dream bigger, yo. Challenge yourself to achieve what once seemed impossible. No more I can't. No more, I'm just not good enough. No. You are good enough. I want you to dream big. Shout out to J. Cole. He said, you need to see yourself at the highest possible level, and then push yourself even further. Dream big, right? There's a saying, if you aim for the stars, you're going to mess around and land on the moon, right? Dream big, right? And here's the thing when it comes to dreaming big. When you really start to prioritize dreaming big, thinking big, really wanting to become more, it's going to shine light on the people who are small thinkers and small dreamers and don't want that, right? Now you have a decision to make, man, because let me tell you something. It's never going to align when you're a big dreamer around small-minded people. It's not going to align, right? And so you need to prioritize really, focusing on protecting your energy, protecting your dreams, protecting your heart, even if it's from people that you love dearly, John Assaraf says, the comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing grows there. Yeah, it's nice in the moment. It's cool. Yeah, be comfortable, chill, lay on the couch, eat whatever, do whatever, go out, have no structure, have no routine, just float through life, check your phone, go on social media. It's comfortable. It's cool. It's nice. But nothing ever grows there. So if you want to grow, you can't expect that's going to lead to growth. It won't. This is where we got to keep it real. This is where we have to hold each other accountable, right? It's not going to work. Your comfort zone will kill your dreams. Your comfort zone will kill your dreams. Stepping into growth, stepping into discomfort, right? Leaning in to the adversity will expand your dreams, will feed your dreams. Choose. See challenges as invitations to expand individually, right? Prioritize growth. Every time a challenge comes, understand this is an opportunity to expand, to learn, and to grow. We leaning into it. And with that perspective, it's going to allow you to embrace challenges and difficulties when they come into your life rather than trying to run from them. We're not running no more. We're stopping and we're turning around and we're facing the things that we need to face. We're not running anymore. We're stopping and we're turning around and we're facing the things that we need to face, right? And usually with challenges, adversities, difficulties, things that we don't want to face, when we're running from them, it feels like a lion is chasing us, right? But when you finally stop and you turn around, what you'll actually see is a small little cat. And then you're going to be like, wow, okay. So this whole time I was allowing my mind to make this thing way bigger than it actually was, right? And that's why it's so important to just bring awareness and intention and to face the things you need to face. Don't allow them to become this big mountain in your head that you just continuously run from them and you feel like you can never turn around because it's this big, scary thing. No, it's not. Stop and turn around and you'll see. Stop and turn around and you'll see. Shift your perspective. View setbacks as opportunities for growth rather than failures. Every setback is an opportunity. Every heartbreak is an opportunity. Every loss is an opportunity. Every rejection is an opportunity. Every difficulty is an opportunity. Embrace it all with the right perspective and understand there is an opportunity in everything. All 2025, understand there is an opportunity in every season, in every experience that I go through. There is opportunity. And with the right perspective, I can always hone in on the opportunity and really make the most out of it. But what happens so often is we have the wrong perspective and we miss out on the opportunity, right? Because we have the wrong perspective, we only see the obstacle. We only see the mountain. We don't see the opportunity. So when you shift your perspective, it's going to allow you to start seeing the opportunity in everything rather than the obstacle in everything, right? It's going to allow you to start seeing the blessing in everything rather than the burden in everything. All from perspective. All from perspective. This one's huge. Number 5. I think this will be our last one. I want you to practice radical faith and trust. Radical faith and trust. I want you to truly let go of your need to figure out how or the outcome and trust and live in faith in everything that you do. In everything that you do. And watch how your life changes. It's not going to be easy, but watch how your life changes. Let go of needing to know every step and just trust in the journey. Trust in divine intervention. Trust in God. And watch how your life changes. Trust and practice this every single day. Every time you feel yourself leaning more into doubt, leaning more into fear, bring awareness to that, bring yourself back, and you lean more into the faith. You trust the process. You lean not on your own understanding, and understand that there's a bigger play at work, and everything's going to work out on divine timing. Just trust in the flow. Trust in the universe. Trust in the Creator, that everything's going to work out for your highest good. Trust in it radically. I need you to go all out with faith, all out with trust, right? Leave no room for doubt. Leave no room for doubt. Anytime doubt and fear comes up, we immediately combat it with faith and trust. Anytime we start to cling onto the how and when and what's going to happen, we immediately resort to faith and trust. And we're going to keep doing that over and over and over until faith and trust is literally our default in every fiber of our being. Radically practice faith and trust in everything that you do. Radically, your life will change. Radically practice faith and trust. Understand that life's beauty often lies in the unknown. We don't need to know everything. We don't need to understand everything. But that is where the beauty lies in the journey. We don't need to know how all the time. You don't need to know when. You just need to trust and watch how things unfold. You don't need to know how the movie's going to unfold. You don't need to know when the movie's going to end. You need to trust and embrace what is and watch it unfold. Anchor yourself in purpose, right? When you start to question things, when you start to cling to the how instead of the when, bring yourself back to center, ground yourself, take a breath, and understand everything that is happening is guiding you toward alignment. Trust in that. Really trust in it. Trust in it. And I'm speaking from experience. When you truly just let go and you trust and live in faith and you just continue to take steps down that path of alignment and authenticity and truly following your heart and your intuition, everything will work out. Even when it makes zero sense. There's no way you can see. You just have to trust. That's why Kendrick Lamar said, follow your heart, not your eyes. Your eyes will deceive you. This world will deceive you. Your heart won't. Follow it. Follow it. Follow it. Martin Luther King said, faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. Shout out to Martin Luther King, man. Shout out to Martin Luther King. Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Mandy Hale says, trust the wait. Embrace uncertainty. Enjoy the beauty of becoming. Enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the unseen. Enjoy the unknown. Enjoy the uncertainty. Embrace it all. And trust that things are happening for your highest good. Things are forming at divine timing, in divine ways. Stay in the present and continue to take it one step at a time. One step at a time. So what was that? 5? 5 intentions, 5 keys to really prioritize in 2025. Now, before we move on, I have a section, and it's 10 quotes to inspire growth and perspective for 2025. So 10 quotes for you to really bring into 2025. We'll go down them one by one. A little ending, a little final segment of the podcast. James Clear says, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. That is incredibly profound because so many people, they just focus on goal setting, but they don't focus on system implementing. Your systems are the things that are going to allow you to be sustainable and effective and efficient. If you just set goals all the time, but you don't change your systems, you're probably not going to attain your goals. If you don't change your day-to-day habits and actions, setting a goal isn't really going to do much for you. It's the systems that matter. And that's why they say, set the goal, figure out the day-to-day steps that align with that goal, and then forget about the goal and just focus on the day-to-day steps. Don't even focus on the goal. Every day, just focus on the steps that align with the goal and watch how your life changes. Watch how you get to exactly where you're meant to be, exactly where you desire to be, right? You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Remember that. So it's not about setting bigger goals. It's about bringing intention and awareness to our day-to-day habits and actions and aligning them with the person that we're trying to become. Abraham Lincoln says, the best way to predict your future is to create it. For most of us, the thing that's creating our future right now is our past. The thing that is creating our future right now is our past. Why do you think we worry so much? Why do you think we have so much anxiety? Right? Because we're allowing our past experiences, our past programming, our past conditioning to dictate what the future looks like in our mind. And that's why we worry. And worry is literally giving energy to an undesired reality. Worry is literally giving energy to something you don't want to happen. But why do we do it so much? Because we're allowing our past conditioning, programming, and experiences to dictate our future. Stop. Put a pause in it. Bring awareness and intention into your life. Write down a new future. Write down a new version of yourself. Write down positive experiences. And start to take steps towards that and creating a new future. Learn and reflect from the past. Create and refine the future. What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. That's so good. Zig Ziglar. So often when, you want to set resolutions or you want to set goals or, you want to achieve things, the reason why it's so important to go down that journey of doing those things is not so that you can actually attain those things. It's because of the person that you'll become by going down that journey. It happens every episode. I always drop my pen. Let's run that back. The reason it's so important to set goals and to want to strive for better and to want to achieve amazing things in life is not to actually achieve the goal. It's because of the person you'll become by going down that journey every single day. Whether or not that outcome works or not, that doesn't determine your success. Your success comes from the journey. I promise you, you're not even going to be worried about the outcome when you really look back and you see how much you were able to grow and develop through the journey of wanting to become more, of wanting to become better, of wanting to become more aligned and authentic, right? Achieving the goal and achieving external things is cool, but the person you become, that's the thing that lasts forever. That's the thing that lasts forever. That's the thing that nobody can take away. They could take away accolades. They could take away achievements. They could take away, physical trophies and things like that, materialistic things. They can never take away who you become on the journey. They can never take that away. Nobody can take that from you. And that's why it's so important to really embrace this journey. Set goals so big that they scare you. And then focus every single day on just taking one step towards that goal. And watch the person you become. Whether you attain the goal or not is besides the point. Watch the person you become, because that's the true reward in the journey. That's the true prize. That's the true prize. Stephen Furtick, this is a bar. He said, your perspective will either become your prison or your passport. Whoo! Your perspective will either keep you stuck or it will propel you forward. Your perspective will either, I'm over here having it's a tongue twister, or I don't even know what it's called. That is so good. Your perspective will either become your prison or your passport. Ask yourself today, is my perspective a prison for my life, or is it a passport for my life? Is it allowing me to discover new things, to grow, to, experience new places, new avenues? Or is it keeping me stuck in a cycle, in an environment, a programming that I don't really want to be in, that really doesn't serve me? Be real with yourself. Be honest. The only way to change it is to have awareness and honesty about it, right? If your perspective isn't where you want it to be, you have to be aware of that, and then you have to be honest about that in order to change it. So be real with yourself today. Take 5 minutes and ask yourself that. Is my perspective a prison or a passport? Maya Angelou, shout out to Maya Angelou, one of the GOATs of all time. She says, success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it, right? We get so caught up in all these external definitions of success. Success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it on an everyday basis. Keep it simple, keep it organic, keep it authentic. Boom. So if you're doing that, guess what? You're successful. The money, the accolades, the materialistic things, all that stuff is just a byproduct of your success. It's not what makes you successful. It is not your success. The success is not the money. The success is not the materialistic things. Those are all byproducts of the true success, which is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. Looking yourself in the mirror every day and being at peace with the person that you see and actually liking that person. That's success. This one is from an unknown person. It says, don't be afraid to start over. This time you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. So many people are afraid of starting over or starting something new because they feel like they're starting from ground zero. No, you're not. You're starting from ground experience. That's where you're starting from. You're starting from all the past experience that has led you up to this moment. So you're not really starting over. No. You're starting refined. You're deciding to take a new path. But the experience and the wisdom that you have now, the person that you've developed to be, you're definitely not starting from ground zero. You're not starting from level 1. So trust in that. Understand, no, we're good. We have the wisdom, we have the experience, we have the knowledge, we have the development to be able to pivot at any time and really follow our heart. Because following your heart sometimes is going to make you have to let go of old things and start new things. You're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. Come on. That's beautiful. 3 more quotes, and then we'll end the podcast. Number 8 says, by Socrates, an amazing philosopher, the secret of change is to focus all your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. So many people think changing is about fighting the old, fighting the things that are holding them down, right? And all that fighting you're doing, all you're doing is giving focus and energy to those things. You need to take that back and start focusing your energy on building new things. Because through that process, naturally, you're going to start to let go of the old things. You don't need to fight them. You don't need to fight. You don't need to have all this resistance. You don't need to go to war with these things every day. Just focus on building the new, creating the new, and watch how that new takes you away from the old. It's beautiful. Number 9 says, how you love yourself is how you teach others to love you. In 2025, you need to prioritize loving yourself in the way that you want to be loved. Because how you love yourself is how you teach others to love you. You accept the love you give to yourself. So really prioritize loving yourself in an aligned, authentic way, because that's what you're going to attract into your life from other people. That is what you're going to attract into your life from other people. That was by Rupi Kaur. I hope I'm saying that right. Number 10 says, by Alice Morse Earl. Alice, I'm talking about Alice. Alice Earl, that's who it's by. Alice Earl says, every day may not be good, but there's something good in every day. Every day might not be the best. Every day might not be, the most flourishing and uplifting. But understand, with the right perspective, with an attitude of gratitude, you can find the good in the bad. You can find the blessing in the burdens, right? So every day may not be good, but you can find the good in every day. Come on. It's beautiful. And that is going to do it for the last episode of 2024. Man, like I was saying at the beginning, you guys have no idea how appreciative and grateful I am for you. Like, I've really been thinking of a lot of ways to bring this space into like an in-person thing, an in-person event, whatever it may be. Obviously, we're going to continue to grow and develop and figure out ways to do that. But man, you guys have no idea how much I appreciate y'all. Like, it's insane. It's insane. Sometimes you just got to sit in it, because it really is profound to see all that we've done. And I say we because we are all doing things. We are all moving in the right direction. We're all, striving to be authentic and aligned every single day. We are all WAGOS, truly. WAGOS is more than just a podcast. It's more than just a brand. It really is a community. It's a way of life. It's a perspective. It's an emotion. It's hope. It's authenticity. It's alignment. It's an accumulation of different perspectives and unique individuals coming together. It's a beautiful thing. And so I cannot express my gratitude and appreciation and love for y'all more. I don't even know. Look at, I'm losing my words. Can't even speak. But seriously, I do appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And we're going to continue to develop. We have so many amazing things to do in 2025. I cannot wait. Shout out to my man Adrian, my business partner. We've really been cultivating some things for the brand, for the podcast, for the community. So, yeah, we're going to keep moving in the right direction. If you've watched it all the way to this end, if you are watching on YouTube, please comment some keys, some intentions, some New Year resolutions that you want to pass on to other people reading. Please comment your favorite episode from 2024. Please comment some things that you want to see moving forward from WAGOS. Comment whatever, you know what I mean? And if you don't, I still love you regardless. You don't need to. But that is going to do it for this episode. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And remember, most importantly, to take everything with a grain of salt. I will catch you guys next year. Fire.